Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Stage Diving with Scotty. My guest today is the band Spacegoat. Welcome to my little show, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, so I got to ask you, what is the holiday that it's today for you? What is today? It's a holiday, right?
Yeah, it's a public holiday here in just for our town. It's a horse race.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what is involved, if you don't mind me asking?
It's like we live in a town called Bendigo. It's called the Bendigo Cup. And ordinarily everyone gets the day off so that they can go to the races and get pissed.
Oh boy.
And spend lots of money on betting on horse racing.
I mean, isn't that just like a normal Tuesday or a Wednesday? I mean,
but because of COVID, we don't have the horse races on, but we can't go there. So it's not my jam.
So everyone's getting pissed and gambling at home.
yeah, I mean, yeah, just watch it on TV or something. Oh, that's really interesting. You actually have a holiday for that, but I mean, that's really interesting.
We'll take it. We'll take whatever holiday we can get.
There's another one next week for another horse race.
Yeah.
What? Is it same town or a different town?
No,
It's the whole state of
Where we are.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's also
interesting.
Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
Oh. Just,
But we don't get that. We get today.
yeah.
And then we got
Okay.
football. Yeah, we're gonna. It's all about sports over
Australian
here.
football. We get
Yeah.
holidays for sport.
yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, any reason to get pissed, right?
That's what we're all about.
So straight up, Scotty, I'm going to just let you know we've never done one of these with all of us before. It's only usually been one or maybe two. So this could get really interesting.
Yes, I'm up for it.
Because we've got like ADD kids over the back here.
That is totally fine. See, he's already distracted. No, I love it because a majority of the ones that I've done, it's usually been single people of the band or whatnot, or solo artists, and I've had a few. Like I had a Call of the Void. I had them on here, and
Oh, those guys are great.
they were a kick in the pants, man. That was a lot of fun. So I mean,
Nice.
so to have everybody in like one group is a lot of fun to do. But I'm glad to have all you guys in one spot. That's great. So
Cool. Thanks for having us.
yeah, so why don't I mean, I don't know how many you've done of these, but I mean, okay, I gotta ask, Spacegoat. So where did that originate? Who wants to take it?
take that one? You take it.
Yeah, basically, when we first started the band, I come up with that idea because, well, I've always wanted a name with goat in it because I like goats. Not, but,
Nothing shady.
I'll draw time. I sent it in a message to the guys at the band. I said, "What about scapegoat? Let's go scapegoat." And our drummer at the time, he's like, "Nah, I don't really like it. Nah." The next day he comes, "Oh, I've spoken to a few people, and yet I think it's good now. Yeah, Spacegoat. Yeah, sounds all right." Spacegoat? No, I didn't say. I typed scapegoat. I don't know. But yeah, and then we all thought, no, that's actually a better name.
That was an old member too, and that's that's one of the good contributions starting.
The accidental.
Yeah.
Scapegoat sounds like a terrible new metal band name.
Oh, I liked it.
Well, that's what's so cool is I dig about you guys is when I heard it, it had a little bit of a good mixture of like, I hope you take this as a compliment, but like sort of like late 2000s like new metal, but like with a modern like feel to it, if that makes sense. What I really dig is that you guys, I know a lot of these metal bands, and I absolutely love metal, but which is fun is to have a lot of them do the fancy guitar work, and it's cool because they got some really sick riffs and cool noises nowadays. Like I love freaking Brand of Sacrifice. I love them. But then it's kind of cool to go back and hear bands that just do really cool rock and roll riffs, or just heavy, like good heavy riffs. And one of those is you guys. And I just love that you guys do good riffs. You know, it gets you in the mood. It gets, you know what you're getting into once you hear that first few chords going off. And then, you know, then Aaron, when you come in, you're like, oh, okay, I like this. This is different, you know? So I just wanted to compliment you. Yeah, it's good. It feels like a good mixture of like maybe like early influence for you guys and then modern influence for you guys as well. I don't know, how
That's
do you feel?
definitely a compliment. I mean, Leon and me in particular are very heavily influenced by that era of new metal, and probably you too, Adam. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's inevitable, I suppose, that it shows through a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's great because there's not a lot. Again, it's what's cool is even though there's a lot of different genres out there, it's fun to have something that's sort of familiar with a modern sound, if that makes sense. So because there's a lot of punk out there that's sounds kind of similar, and it's really good stuff. And there's some good emos trying to make it sort of come back as well. I'm hearing a lot of good emo stuff coming out. God, I hate genre, I hate titles, you know.
Yeah.
Well, all that to say, like, you guys, you catch the person with the riffs, you got the great singing, you got the great melodies, and you got great choruses, good build-ups. Like my favorite song is probably the Push off of the first off of 33, right? There's something about that song, and let me Aaron, this is a compliment, but I feel like there's a little bit of James Hetfield in your singing. Okay. Fine.
You know what? We actually really pay her out for it too.
I love
Every
it.
time you hear it at the end of the
we there's a sound guy at a venue that we play at here regularly, and every time we play, he puts like a fucking really like heavy delay on that bit too, so you just hear it going as if it didn't stand out enough.
Yeah.
That's all right, I'll take it. Hetfield is also an influence of mine, so not on purpose, it probably subconsciously seeped into my brain.
That's great. That's cool. Oh yeah, I didn't even ask actually, guys. So introduce yourselves and what you do, because I didn't even ask that at all. I'm so sorry. That was really rude of me. Who was the go? I don't know how you guys want to do it.
Didn't offer it up either.
I'm Leon. I'm one of the guitarists.
I'm Marty, and I'm one of the guitarists.
That's Kid. He's an alcoholic.
Yeah. It's been 4 hours since my last game. He's doing good. He really is. I'm shaking. You're right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they call me Kid. I also play guitar. Bass player. the most important guitar of all. He actually gets the shakes when he's not playing the bass.
And I'm Erin, and I am the vocalist.
And Adam, drum.
There you go. Dude, I noticed that your guys' like nicknames are all kind of sort of line up with what you're playing, sort of. I mean, unless that's your like real name. I mean, was it Adam Beatty? Is that how you say last name?
Yeah.
That's his real name.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a play on words.
I'm also a chronic masturbator too.
Oh no.
So we got an alcoholic, we got a masturbator. And this is why we write good.
That'll be the concept for our next album.
Well, okay, so how long have you guys known each other? Like, how did the beginning of Spacegoat start?
We met at a masturbating meeting, didn't we?
No, these two actually have their story is really cool because they've known each other since they were literally toddlers.
My family moved in next door to their family when I was 2 years old.
Yep, I was 4.
Yeah,
And we got to see each other grow up.
They literally do everything together. They work jobs together. Like if one quits a job, the other one quits a job, and then they get a new job together.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's almost.
Inseparable.
Yeah,
what do they call us? The boyfriends?
yeah. Basically.
What did you guys both discover music together growing up and then
Basically, I was
taking
only allowed to
instrument?
listen to what he was listening to.
What was that?
I was only allowed to listen to whatever he was listening to. So.
No, we grew up. We had a mate with Nick behind us as well, and he brought in a lot of the music that was coming out at the time. So we got a lot through him, and we had our own sort of stuff, and grew up with a bit of Michael Jackson in the early days and things like that, and it all stemmed from there. And
we had a not a rock band. We thought it was serious at the time when we were teenagers. We were called Nefarian because nefarious means wicked, and we thought that summed us up. And we played Faith No More songs. We had one song which was almost a cover. Well, it was a cover, but we changed the words. It was Bad to the Bone. So we played Bad to the Bone, but we changed the words to Bad to the Yoke. And everyone were eggs.
oh my god!
You edit this whole section out.
Wrap it up to the part where we get the space go.
We're here all day.
We talking about grandmas.
Yeah.
We were all.
So the crux of that was that these two have known each other for a very, very long time and have been playing together, playing music together and various other things since they were kids. So Spacegoat essentially started with that.
Yeah, and we watched Leon's old band, previous band. Used to go watch him and love what he did on guitar. And the time came when we needed a new guitarist, and it sort of without
Well, we were actually considered Leon in the start too. When we decided we were in another band that wrapped up, and we're like, well, let's just start our own band. That's just we didn't want to stop. So we said, right, who can we get? We got one mate, Brad, who we played with previously, and I know he's not doing anything. We get him, did that, or we get Leon because he's really good. He's annoying, but he's good. But we decided to go with Brad at the time because we knew Leon was doing stuff anyway. And so we chose Brad. Sorry, Leon. And
but if you hadn't chose Brad, then I wouldn't have been on board.
That's right.
This is where it all connects up. So our old guitarist Brad and I had known each other since we were in our early 20s, and I hadn't done music I've been in bands before, hadn't played music for about 10 years, just life basically, and bands had gotten a bit too much hard work, and as you know, yourself, it's really hard to find that to be able to put a group of people together and have it not be hard work and be all on the same page and whatever. So I just got jack of that, and I didn't do anything for a while, and Brad messaged me out of the blue. I hadn't talked to him for years, and he said, I'm in this band, do you want to come try it and have a sing? And I went, why not? Really wasn't thinking it would go any further. Walked into that jam room and I was like, sign me up, I'm here for life. So Brad didn't stay on, and that's why we've got Leon now, but that's how I came on board. And then our first drummer left, and I brought Adam on board because he was my tattoo artist, and I was like, I'm pretty sure my tattoo artist plays drums, let's see what he wants to do. And he didn't say no.
It was weird at the time too, because I think me and a friend went to a show in Melbourne, and then he was asking me, I'd never been in a band before. He was asking me if I'd ever joined a band. And then the next day, Erin sent me a message asking if I wanted to join a band. Yeah, it's really weird.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I love when that stuff happens. It's so cool.
Leon's the newest. Adam joined before Leon.
I was the last. So they had the song, like, they already had it, yeah.
We had a few songs. We
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the push was
Dudes
one
They
that
Love
already
Yeah, the
existed
Push,
before Leon.
Dudes They Love Affair, and
Electric Creature, but that's not
on the EP.
Yeah.
It's on the EP, yeah. So on that first 33, those songs were the songs that I was not a part of. But I recorded them.
Yeah.
They were already written, but yeah, so I joined, Kid messaged me and asked me if I'm doing anything. And at the time I was doing nothing. I had a previous band, we were together for years, but there was a lot of travel. It was sort of long distance travel for a few of us.
Okay.
Just made it really hard. And so I sort of was over it, didn't want to drive anymore. And then got a message from Kid saying, hey man, you want to come down for a jam? Our guitarist had quit. And I found out everyone was local, and the house where they jammed at was literally like 500 meters away. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to jam.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Sounds a dream. So I went around there, and all these guys were, I think they sent me a few songs to jam to, and then we sort of just got together. I learned a couple of the songs at the time. I can't remember there, and then we just basically started writing with them straight away. And it just,
So then how long was it before when you guys had to get, before Aaron came into the picture, were you guys together? As what Brett,
about a
well,
year,
Brett was,
actually.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, we've been playing for a year. Brad was very particular too. He was a guitar teacher, and so he was like, no, we've got to be spot on. We can't just get just a singer to come in and we sound like shit. They won't want to join us. We're going to be spot on. So it was about a year before we got Aaron in. So yeah, which I was happy with, being an instrumental band for a while anyway. We still talk about that. We've come up with a new song and like, oh, I think I might do this. And we're actually thinking this might be an instrumental. Yeah.
Literally every band practice.
Yeah, it never
That
gets old.
joke gets
Never gets
pulled
old.
out.
Yeah, I'm a dad.
And we still laugh at it.
And you guys actually, so when you finally came together, what I think it was I saw briefly. I don't do a lot of research because I kind of like to just figure out from you guys. But I saw a little bit of you guys kind of got together to record just before the pandemic. I think, was that what it was, or is it the release was before the pandemic?
So we'd recorded and released 33 in 2019, started 2019, and so just before the pandemic, we actually had like gathered some momentum, and we had a bunch of like pretty cool gigs and stuff like locked in for 2020. And so we were like, oh, 2020 is gonna be our year, and then it was nobody's fucking year. So so that's what, and we had locked in the recording for Catharsis, the new record, in 2020, but that got postponed a couple of times too because of the pandemic. And the studio that we use is in a different city, and our state had basically the city was segregated from the rest of the state, so no one could travel between the city and the country where we were. So yeah, so that's sort of the timeline of the recordings. We're actually really proud that we managed to push that out with all the hurdles that
Yeah.
that managed. Yeah.
Like I caught a little bit of some of the videos that you did too. Was that during the shutdown as well?
Yeah. So the first video, which was for My Asthma, that was supposed to come out at the same time as the actual single dropped, but again, because of lockdowns and because our state's been going in and out and in and out and in and out of lockdown, so like and they've been imposing them on us with real short notice too. So our video guy couldn't travel from the city to come down, and so what we had first planned for that video was quite a bit more complex than what we ended up recording. And we just had to improvise and change it all up a bit and
simplify the shit.
Basically we did it all in one day. Well, we did the performance part in one day, and then had to do
Almost a month later, do the
story.
The story bit, yeah. So yeah, that was tricky. And then actually the video for Dirty Fighter, the second single, was when we were in our tightest lockdown, wasn't it? And we had to get real crafty.
We weren't
And
allowed to meet up with
this
anyone.
guy over
Individual
here,
shots or individual
Yes.
areas per person when you can.
that's exactly what we did. And so we had originally organised a video crew from Melbourne, which Mighty knows, and obviously they couldn't get to us. We weren't even technically allowed to leave our homes. Like we were 5 kilometers was the distance from home, and you know, not allowed to meet up with anyone. And
meet with one person to exercise with
yeah,
For 2 hours.
But, yeah.
For a 2 hour block.
Unbelievable.
them.
and so we got crafty. We bought a gimbal, and
Hey, there you
Leon's
go.
got a pretty fancy phone, and we were like, fuck it, we'll work this out.
I came up
What
with
was
an
it?
idea, and I'm like,
24 hours of YouTube tutorials
Oh
you
my
did?
I've had to do that too, brother.
yeah, oh, it was so shit. But,
But
yeah.
Leon did the whole
Yeah.
thing, like, and
Very cool, man.
we were so happy with how it turned out. And I think, you know,
He's still bugging it up. Like,
Well, what the funny thing is, so I downloaded an app to learn some film app, and then I just learned how to do coloring and that sort of thing, and learn everything about it. And then when I get out there to start, because at first it was just me and Adam out in the bush with the drum kit, set the drum kit up, and I've got the phone ready to go, and I didn't click on one button, which it was overcast, and I had the film set to like artificial light inside the house.
Mhm.
So it come out blue. And I'm like, and I did the whole drums, and then then we moved to the next part where I think it was down to Aaron, then I realized what I've done, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's actually set on artificial light, not outside light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I've already done it. The drum kit's already packed up. Adam's gone home. I'm
Let's
like,
have a blue theme.
well, it actually looks pretty
Oh
cool.
no.
But then, and after I did the first edit, and it was blue, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have to fix this. I had to learn how to color grade. So I spent the next 24 hours learning how to color grade on YouTube. And so it's not the best, but that's as close as I get to what it actually looked like in real time.
who needs a university degree when you got YouTube?
Yeah, right.
YouTube is the best. I'm a what do you call it? Like, I'm a student of YouTube. I love it.
Everything's on there. You become a dentist, I'm sure.
Oh God, I don't want to be the first of that. No,
Yeah,
I know what you mean though, because I bought a gimbal and then I did whatever Digi app that it is that comes with it or something like that. And
Yeah,
that was
well, the
interesting to
app-
figure out.
Yeah, so the app that the gimbal came with was pretty cool. Actually, it was pretty smooth. The police are just driving past.
They heard you.
Better make sure we're all vaccinated. Yeah, and so I basically typed in on YouTube like the best app for filming for making cinematic videos, and
Yeah.
found this Filmic Pro app and just
Yeah.
learn how to use it.
Yeah, that's a cool app. That's the one I use too. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very cool.
Perfect. So yeah, I just got my head wrapped around that, and then learned how to. I tried to do it on my computer. My computer was useless, and so I had to get Aaron's computer so I can edit it all. And yeah, spent the whole. I don't know. We filmed it Saturday, and then had it all ready by Tuesday or something like that. Yeah.
Wow. You got a lot of time on your hand, right?
Yeah, that's outside of work.
But when you're in lockdown, you can't go anywhere.
Can't go. Yeah, I had nothing else to do.
Well, it's funny.
We both have reports back of people that are sensitive to like motion sickness with that video though. Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, you know what's funny was when I went to watch Miasma, I kind of laughed to myself because your sort of story for that was very. It felt similar to my band, The Spacing Effect. Our first song was called "Killing Time." And it opened, the opening scene is a top roof shot to the bed of alarm going off, guy slamming the alarm, getting up out of bed, doing his routine, going through the motions.
He found us out. He found us out.
No way.
You copied us. Come on. Be original.
These are thoughts that keep me up at night. This is what makes my chest feel tight. This is what I don't let nobody see, because I'm terrified.
It's got some words,
The
that's
what
a
that
thing.
proves is that there are no original ideas.
We could talk about the fact that I
Simpsons
wanted
did
to
it.
do.
That's a great song, by the way. I really like that song
Yeah.
a lot. But,
Thank you. Yeah. It wasn't actually one that was on our radar as being one of the singles, but it wasn't until we got into the studio and the guy that produces us, he was like, "That's your single."
I want to write it.
Yeah.
And
As soon as he heard the chorus, like, Darren was singing and he turned around and he goes, "That's your single."
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
Sometime hearing it.
And you have a lot of good feedback from that one?
We were all set on
Dirty Fighter,
Dirty Fighter,
yeah.
the first single.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then soon, and we didn't even, I don't know, none of us were thinking my husband.
And like, we almost didn't do Purge in the end.
We weren't even going to put Purge on the whole CD.
But he's like, this one, you should open the CD with this one. Oh, all right. Yeah. Yeah, we're glad we did. Yeah.
So when you guys do your songs and be creative, let's go with the typical question here. Who starts with the idea and then how does it form for you guys? Your songwriting formality.
Some of it is us literally just jamming.
Just jamming?
All of it together, like, we'll all be standing there.
a lot of it is actually, we're quite a jam-based band, aren't we?
Yeah, we just jam and he'll have an idea. And I'm like, I'll keep going with that. And then I'll sort of play over the top of it. We'll just continue on.
Yeah.
Merge came about. Adam sends through some drum beats that he had recorded himself just playing the drums to, and I just jammed along with it.
Like a week or two later, I've come up with this sick ass bass riff, and then you're like, oh, that would work really well. With that.
He had this drum beat. I played over this drum beat, just this real heavy sort of riff, which is pretty much the basis for that Purge, the heaviness part. And then that was sort of it. And then Lyndon was just jamming at home. That was at home. Did you send it through?
Yeah,
He sent something through. And I'm like, that would actually work really well with that drum beat, that riff.
Mhm.
And that's how that song sort of came about.
Lyndon is Kid, by the way, just in case you don't know. Like,
Yeah,
don't
sorry.
confuse people.
I don't. I'm like I said, I'm the newest in the band, so I still learn a big time. I can't help it.
Newest in the band. It's been 4 fucking years.
But yeah, but in most songs,
You've got other things too, like Erased, which is an old idea of Leon's that we.
Yeah, I started stalking his Instagram one night, found some old stuff, and I said, "Oh, mate, I really like this one. We need to do this." I'm not stalking you, by the way. Is what I wrote on the video. But yeah,
a lot of things. If I write something, that was before I was doing music
yeah.
again. So I used to just record myself playing guitar. And if I really liked it, I just put myself on Instagram just to show off. And then he comes through and he's just like, "We're using this for Spacegoat."
Well, let's say, aren't you kind of afraid that someone's going to take your riff and plagiarize it, or take any kind of part of it and be like, "Oh man, dang it, why did I do that?"
Yeah, I've never thought about it. If someone does, that'd be cool. It'd be awkward if I release something as Spacegoat and then someone releases something. Who was first?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe Scapegoat will take it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, next thing,
We're not
Sorry.
talking about it.
Sorry, that was dumb. I'll punch myself later.
You're lucky all over there, mate.
Like, it's funny because that's one of the things that I wanted to do too, where just kind of like just play something online just to kind of just show that, just I love the creativeness of just kind of being spontaneous. And then our manager for our band was like, you probably shouldn't do that because people like to rip stuff off a lot online.
We don't really put stuff up now unless it's like really tiny bites that you can't really determine anything from. I think once we start actually making them into songs, we're like, pretty secretive about them.
Oh, I don't. I got to show everyone.
Yeah.
You get our new song.
It's so hard not to show it though, right? When you're really excited
Yeah.
about something,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just like, can I just give like 10 seconds, maybe 15?
Especially when you're talking like, so our latest release, a lot of those songs are at least 2 years old, at least. And so they're only like 2 weeks, 3 weeks old for you guys. But for us, we've been hearing them. And it's like, when you've got that actually recorded, it's just like, you just want to show everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, long time to sit on the eggs. Those eggs are going rotten. They come from your bum.
Yeah, he's a chronic farter, this one.
What we said about Ed?
Well, you're all together now, so I mean, you all get to be miserable now if that happens.
Constantly.
Or wait, does it happen in the practice space? Because that's horrible. You're getting sweat and
Yes.
You can't go anywhere without letting one out.
I'm not the only one, just saying. What can you do, Aaron?
The newest studio we've been jamming at is obviously pretty confined, and we set a rule at the end of the last jam. I'm like, no more, there's no windows.
No way you can air that space out at
It
all.
stays in there.
It's stayed in there for a while,
Terrible.
Oh my
It's
lord.
like,
No, that was mine the last one.
It was you.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm claiming it.
Oh, it's pretty good. I think I was really hungover too.
oh.
He does,
No.
he does the fun ones where he
Yeah.
waits for you to walk past to see if you notice. He's very sneaky.
He's not, because you can hear it from friggin' 2 rooms away.
You know, it's pretty
Space
bad when you can hear it over the
Discussing Very
drums.
important topics of
Yes.
life.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was like, all right.
Welcome to Part Talk with Space.
I was like,
Oh,
that's not me.
We've actually got a riff. We haven't used it
Oh,
yet. We got this really good riff. What's the word here?
We call it
inspired
Yeah.
by his fart. We're like, let's come up with something cool. And I think I said something like, oh, we need to use words or something like
We
that.
do a lot of ononomatopoeia stuff,
Yeah, that
don't
sort of
we?
stuff.
Like, yeah.
And I think we said to you, like, give us something. So we just did this fart and then just went, oh, how'd it go?
Oh, I can't give it away.
It was
It
like,
was a part in sections.
it was
Anyway.
like, rip.
Don't use that.
I'm keeping that in. I'm keeping that in.
That's a copyrighted part right there.
Very rhythmic and musical.
So now, that's how we get all our rip ideas now.
Yeah. And that's a good question.
Yeah. The question about how does Spacegoat write their songs, straight out of Mighty's ass.
Yeah. And that's where the saying comes from. Did you just pull that out of your ass, did you?
Yep. That's talent. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm getting hot now. Yeah. Oh, let me take my sweater off. Hold on. I want to ask you actually, so in between 33 and Catharsis, did you guys plan on doing EPs? Or do you guys plan on doing LPs? Do you guys just do singles? Like, how are you guys going to take it from there, you know?
We were just discussing that.
Yeah.
I thought that was, I thought he said he's right.
Yeah, like, you know,
It's just the way of the world now, isn't it? Singles and EPs. No one wants albums anymore. Which when we all come from the time where we all love our albums. We got all these young guys at work. And they said, "Oh yeah, freaking love that song, love that band," but they don't know the albums. They just know the singles. You know, no individual songs.
we're all 80s kids. Like, we grew up listening to albums, and you know, so ideally it'd be nice to follow that kind of pattern, but
We're still working out whether we should follow the mold
yeah.
where everyone's just releasing singles, or whether we stick, to EPs. I don't know. I think we all want to do an album at one stage.
Yeah.
Just all comes down to
This
financial.
conversation happens regularly, and we still haven't really decided how we feel about it.
The thing is, we just
tough.
released this new stuff, and we've already got people asking us when we bring out new stuff. Well,
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, it's hard to keep up.
Anymore. Like our album's been out for a month now, and then also just like, dropped, big time in numbers. And it's just like, well, I mean, I don't know what to do from here. So just
We were just listening to it before the call.
Thank you. Oh, you're the one. So that's what Aaron and I are doing now. It's like, well, then what's the kind of thing now? What's the ball that's rolling now? And I guess it's like covers. So we're trying to work on some covers. So see if that works. But do those singles?
We cannot agree on covers.
Yeah.
You can't do covers?
Oh, we can't agree. We can't agree on a cover.
Oh, you can't agree on a cover. That's hard. Yes.
And then when we come close to it, it's usually our tuning that we're like, oh, but in our tuning, that's going to sound a bit pox because we're quite low tuning. So yeah.
What is that? Is that C sharp or is that G? What is that?
That's down a B. Yeah, A sharp.
Oh, really? That's low.
When I first joined the band, when I joined on, I'm like, fuck you, dude, that's low, because I was coming from a band that played predominantly in D, just drop D.
Yeah.
And then I think we were starting to get lower, and then they go, this is our tuning. I'm like, holy shit, does my guitar even handle that?
Just send it to the shop and get it set up properly.
So that's as low as we all talked about going back up a little bit, but
we did. We tried it,
and it sounded sharp.
Let's go back.
I think it went up half a step just a beat, and it was just like the songs don't. We thought that songs could still work, but like they just sounded weird. So I'll keep it in.
Isn't it funny how that works though? Like just a slight little bit of a different key change, and it just changes the dynamic of the song, whether it be vocally or just even altogether.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I found it really challenging vocally. Like it just, it was weird.
Then Aaron, when did you start like realizing your singing abilities and whatnot? When you were little, or when you could be a teenager, or when did you actually?
I think I was just that annoying kid that likes to be in the spotlight all of the time, and I remember I was a 90s kid obsessed with The Lion King, and I remember making my teacher allow me to stand up in front of the class and sing a Lion King song for no reason other than I wanted to. Like we weren't doing music class, it wasn't show and tell. I was just like, I want to sing to the class because I was a dork. And so that was my first ever public performance. It's probably sounded awful. So I don't know, I just always really liked singing. And then when I went to high school, like a bunch of the kids I knew were in punk bands and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, I really want to do that as well. I was also obsessed with Hanson as a teenager. And I was like, there's an eclectic mix of musical styles going on in this band. And like all the other girls wanted to like, I want to be Taylor Hanson's girlfriend. I was like, I want to be Taylor Hanson. Like I just wanted to be able to sing and play piano. That was just a whole like being basically obsessed with the idea. And anytime my mates would play in their bands, I'd be like, can you let me get up and sing a song? And it just came from there. And eventually I did find bands of my own to be in. I didn't just cling on to everyone else. So but it really honestly I'd have to say it wasn't until I actually joined Spacegoat, which was only like 5 years ago, that I started really developing my own sound. Like I've always had I haven't ever tried to mimic anyone, but definitely this band has helped me find my own sort of vocal style, which at times I've been a bit insecure about, because I sing with an Australian accent and sometimes people find that a bit weird. when we
I don't notice
recorded
it.
one of the songs in the studio, the producer was like, "Can you just dial back the accent just maybe a little bit?" I'm like, "I can't. This is how I sound."
We have a term in Australia when people sing it sounds too Australian, it sounds bogan. That's the term, bogan.
Bogan.
Yeah. It's like, what's the term? It's like redneck.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like redneck. Yeah.
Sounds too redneck, so you have to dial it back a bit sometimes.
Well, so I don't even notice your accent when you sing. Honestly, I swear to you, I do not notice it at all.
Well, that's really
You
good.
can hear it in miasma.
Hear it in my in that breakdown.
Really? Well,
That's
even
just
that,
home.
maybe teeny, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, not
like,
noticeable to cut it down.
Yeah. Well, I had to dial it back. But I definitely know that I say, like, I'll sing can't instead of can't, you know, whereas a lot of
Yeah.
singers, no matter what their accent is, if they're British or Australian or whatever, they'll say, you know, they'll sing in more of an American accent and
Very
say
true.
can't. But I just can't.
You do have songs with that word in it. Yeah.
Home. It's like, it's just so, I'm so Australian, it's not funny.
Well, I was gonna say I can't remember off the top of my head. I apologize, but it's the first song off of Catharsis that you have a very Deftones Chino kind of feel to it. Is that what you were kind of going for?
Oh, I just love that people have picked up that that's where I learned. Like, I learned to fry screen from Deftones. I guess it's just it's my register, and and like fry screaming's really still quite new to me. I'm still getting like learning the technique and stuff like that. So if you say it sounds Deftonesy, it's because that's what I've practiced to the most. So and I'm okay with that. There are some influences that I'm okay with them coming through. So yeah.
No, that's great, and it hits. It's like, oh, she's developing a little more with the screaming. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to bringing more of that in, like, you know, obviously where the song needs it. You don't just scream over everything because you learn how to do it. But I am looking forward to, like, because I'm feeling more and more comfortable doing it, and it's so much fun. But yeah, like, I think that one took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, well, it took me by surprise when I heard it, and it just, you finally started going for it. I was just like, okay, this isn't the singy that was just, you know, moments ago from you know, some of the other songs, and it's like, oh, cool, I like it. You know,
it was such a bastard to record. I'm gonna say, like, how many times did I have like mental breakdowns and crack the shits? And like, it was
That was a tough one in the studio.
It was a real, because I guess I still didn't feel very comfortable with doing them. And as soon as, you know, like any kind of singing, not just screams, but if you're feeling nervous and you start to like tense up, so hard to get that out, like, you know, and I kept like just the bung notes and the weird noises and the squeaks and and then me just cracking it, and it ended in tears, literally.
Oh,
Leon
no.
had to come give me a cuddle. At the end of it.
Try and settle her down. Try and get her back in the game.
That is hard.
Mind you, I'll just point out that this bass guy behind me is my husband.
Oh, okay.
And I
Bass guy. What?
And Leon was the one that worked out that maybe Aaron needs a cuddle. It's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Work hours.
That's right. When we're in band, we're not husband and wife when we're Spacegoat. We're, like I say, bloody hell, I'll go home to my wife and bloody complain about me singing, that's for sure. and then I get home and she does the same about the bass player. Like she says, the bass player's hot though. Yeah, she's all right.
With the I know what you mean, because I recently just posted a video of edited version of our song "Playing with Scissors," where I was having a really hard time with that song, and it's so frustrating when you're stuck in your freaking head that you just can't get a certain the idea right, or the emotion right, or even what's ever up here, you can't get it out here. And no matter how hard you try, you just can't get it. It just doesn't seem like you're getting it, and you just drive
Yeah.
yourself freaking crazy. And again,
It's
that was
so
just a
hard.
small moment of many, many, many moments where it took so long to get that stupid take. So then we just had to do like line by line, because I was just screwing. My brain was just
Oh, that makes me
fried.
feel really good that it's that I'm not alone.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's why I was saying something. Yeah.
It's such a fine line to walk too, because you're supposed to go in there and show your emotion through your voice, but at the same time you've got to be technically good, and like your instrument's got to be in tune. So to be able to like carry both of those things off is it's harder than people think it is.
Oh yeah.
And like if you're too emotional, like that causes issues as well. So it's
Yep.
yeah. I used to really downplay the fact that like I'm just the singer, because I play guitar very, very badly. I can play about 4 to 6 chords. But like I don't play an instrument. So I used to really be like, well, I'm not a musician. But it's only recently that I've realized, no, it's just as technically, complex as any other instrument.
It really is. You know who's a great YouTube guy is Chris Lipe. Have you ever watched any of his videos? I love Chris, and he is so beautifully he beautifully just describes and makes you admire what your voice is capable of. And it's really fun to watch his videos, especially like when did you watch the Deftones one when he did the Deftones song?
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. You don't realize how much bleed. That was what really was cool too. The isolated vocals and hearing the bleed coming through the microphone of like, all the little things that you don't notice,
Yeah, but if they weren't there, that song wouldn't be the same either. It's so cool.
What do you guys have in the bag now? What's just keep on pushing Catharsis, and I can't Erased. Thank you. Erased.
Yeah. I only did that because I was only sort of putting that one forward on socials simply because that seems to be the next song after the 2 singles that everyone seems to be gravitating towards the most. So I was like, oh, well, let's just try and get the streams up on that one. But it's interesting, just going back to what you were saying before about the drop off that you get once you've released like an album, or even our 6-track EP. If we look at the Spotify stats, the 2 singles obviously have the most streams. The first 2 songs have then the next 2, and then the last 2 songs on the EP drops off. It's like people's attention spans are non-existent nowadays, and that's not because they're bad songs, because they're not. And we've had plenty of really good feedback about those songs. It's just that people get like they drop off the radar after like, skip, like it's, I don't know where else I was going with that.
It's kind of disheartening. It's kind of disheartening because like the last song off our album, it was one of the most personal songs for me, and it meant so much to me. And so for like, I'm looking at the plays and it's like, maybe 26 streams, and I'm just like, my heart just drops. It's just like, I hope it reached someone that was really liking it or something, at the very least. But
it's exactly the same here. And we did a lyric video for that song, hoping that would get it sort of a bit more out there too. But I guess it's 2 different platforms. Then you're asking too much of people, aren't you?
Yeah.
And to the average person, it's just a song, isn't it? Like, they don't realize how much.
Exactly. No, exactly. And then, again, that's another disheartening thing. You put so much into this, and it's just gone. A day or 2, and
but for every like 20 people that it is just a song for, there's like maybe there's one that says, I connected with that, and that's to me, I'm like, well, we just won. Like that, yeah. But you asked where we're going from here, didn't you? That's where,
Yeah, sorry.
So we really want to play gigs. We really, really, really want to play gigs.
More dancing on the table and yelling.
Yes.
That was cool. I dug that.
So that venue, they're really supportive of. They're the only venue in our town really that will host original music. You know, if you're a cover band, you can get gigs all over the place, but it's really weird because they're like a restaurant, bistro, bar type thing. So there's tables everywhere, and they don't move the tables out once the music starts. And because there's tables there, humans just naturally go, well, I'm not going to stand around and jump around tables. We'll just sit down at the tables, and you know, and it's bizarre. We've got used to it now because we've played there so many times. But and you know,
Other bands come along.
Yeah, it's
When we get other bands come into town, and I was like, are they going to move the tables?
No. So we all like, obviously, other than Adam, who's stuck behind the drum kit, but we all run a wireless system. So it's like, well, if the tables are in the way, we shall get on the tables.
Hey, I love that.
We have a lot of fun when we play live too. So, and the thing is that there's a lot of the songs on Catharsis we haven't had a chance to play live yet, like because we've been hiding them away until the release, and we were expecting that at this point in, you know, the pandemic that at least we'd be playing gigs again now, but they've just one by one been cancelled all year, and so we haven't had a chance to like tour the release. So to be really nice, nothing's going to happen now until early next year, but that's
it's starting to open up.
Yeah, it is starting. So
oh really?
Yeah.
This Friday we're back open. We're getting to a certain point, so we're getting to open again. So venues are going to be allowed more people in, which means they'll be allowed to have gigs again. I suppose. And you're going to be double vaxxed. Got to be double vaxxed. You can't open if you're not.
Really?
So to be able to play in venues, we've got to prove that we're vaxxed as well, double vaxxed, and yeah, it's all it's hectic over here. But yeah, we've started writing again as well, because we put a writing ban on ourselves, didn't we?
did.
What do you mean?
Because the cool thing about this band is it's really fucking easy. Like it's like if you haven't already picked it up already, we kind of just bounce off each other a lot, and
big family.
It's just fun. Like we just. Yeah, it's fun. Aww. And the writing.
But I write constantly. Normally, I'm always playing guitar, and then once we recorded this CD, I knew we were. I don't know, when did we finish, in February or something like that. Yeah. I've been stopping myself from writing this whole time until Catharsis had been out. So I didn't want to write anything new to have this new stuff that just to be released be old for me already.
Yeah.
I'll stop myself from writing, but now it's out, so I'm back into the writing. So
it was our first band practice after a while.
We started writing. We got a new song already.
Yeah, I just think, I come up with this sort of riff the other night. Well, what do you think? And then the whole jam session was us just writing that song, and we nearly completed that. But we're still tinkering.
Yeah, so we're already deep into writing new stuff. So.
Yeah.
And we think this one's even better. All our stuff we just brought out. You got to think that a bit. Yeah, you know, I love this one, but you don't.
I love when that happens though, when you're just playing live and you just riff and then just that organic just flow of that connection just comes out, and then someone's doing something else and someone's doing something else also, and just like, holy crap, what do we got, guys? Let's keep going with this, you know. I love that. That's so cool. Okay, so one song.
Like, did someone record that? Oh no, I forgot. I didn't. We'll do it now. And then you try and replicate it, and it never happens again.
One of the things, like constant feedback we get from live performances, is that people say you can just tell that you guys really enjoy what you like. You're really having fun, but you're also really in tune with one another, like just really on the same level. Like it's good. Like, I mean, we don't try, that's just what it's like, but that's really nice feedback to get, because it's like, oh, we have fun.
Yeah, you don't want that. Life is too short. You don't need the nonsense anymore. It's just fun when you kind of just come together and just go, let's just have fun. Let's just create music and just enjoy what we're doing and put the other crap aside. Egos, that's for some other band. We're not about that, you know.
For sure.
No, yeah, you could definitely sense it just from the moment that you guys are all on. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, we're a pack of idiots.
Hey, but I would choose you guys over any big band just because how you guys give off anytime.
This interview is over.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is over. Good time to close, right? No, that's a good way to end on it, honestly. It's really cool to have that kind of flow, and even though I'm only in a 2-man band, it's nice to just have one other opinion.
Yes.
And we agree pretty much on a lot of things, but I would say Aaron's a good friend, and you guys look like family and sound like family, and I think that's just really cool, because not a lot of bands seem to have that, and when it does, it's cool to see it, and you're drawn to it, Like, again, the guys from Call the Void, they just feel like another family to me too.
Yeah. I think there's a shift happening in because of social media and the way that music, I guess, with the pandemic and bands not being able to tour and play, and you'd be able to go see music, the next best thing has been interacting on social media. And I've noticed that the bands that get more attention and more love and are getting their stuff shared more and that sort of thing are the bands that just give people their time and are genuinely just not dicks about things, and just not putting that separation between, well, you're the fan and I'm the band. Exactly. And yeah, I think there's a big shift going on. I definitely find that there's bands that I possibly wouldn't have been that drawn to their music, whether it just be that it's not my thing or that it's, it didn't blow my mind, but I've really gravitated towards a band and loved their music more because they've just proved that they're cool people and that they will actually spend the time to talk with you. And it makes a massive difference. And I think, like, again, it's not something that we deliberately set out to achieve, but we're, as you can see, we're all pretty loose people who just talk to anyone and talk shit. So it's so I hope that makes people feel like they can gravitate towards us as well.
Exactly.
Certainly changes my opinion on other bands, and so I don't want anyone to think that we're dickheads. And we are dickheads, but
in a good way.
We take our music seriously, but we don't really take ourselves that serious.
Yeah. No,
that is basically our moniker.
Yeah. Harmonica, you want to get it? I play a mini harmonica too. I'm still trying to slide it into one of our songs, but they won't let me. Never.
Never. The bass player just stands in the back.
Yes.
We went on a road trip for a show one day, and halfway, it was a couple of hours drive, and we stopped off at a pub to get something to eat. It was a really small town. We all get out of the car, we're walking across the road, it's dead, there's not a person in sight, and kids walking behind the rest of us, and next thing you just hear this
harmonica out of
and he pulled a harmonica out of nowhere. And everyone died.
Very country.
That was very redneck.
Logan.
Circle.
He's trying to sneak it into Spacegoat wherever possible.
Yeah.
So I'll know that when I hear it on one of the songs, I'll know it was you.
Yeah, like,
I got it. I got it.
Probably played by Mighty's bum.
yeah. Now you know where Spacegoat is heading. To answer that question before.
We should start our own band. I'll be the harmonica in all the parts.
Oh my God.
Don't you love it how we've somehow wound it all the way back to Mighty's ass?
Yeah, full circle, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Please
okay.
make this stop.
Well, yeah. Well, you got to be with them after we're done. So I mean,
I warned you at the start.
oh, I loved it. Loved it. So then, okay. So then, where can people follow you guys at? Pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, because there is another Spacegoat out there. They stole some of our we can't just have Spacegoat, so it's a little complicated. But if you just go to our website, which is spacegoatband.com, and it will link you to all the little places. If you find us on socials, you will have a link tree to everywhere. So, because unfortunately, to make things complicated, we've got space.goat.band Facebook, and then we've got spacegoat.band at Instagram, and then spacegoatband on Twitter, and it's just it's frustrating. So if you just www.spacegoatband.com, it'll get you there.
There you go. Perfect. Well, the guys, thank you so much for your time. I had a great time. I'm looking forward to whatever you come out with, and I will definitely be supporting you guys like I've been, and I just constantly love watching your posts, and again, I love all the tagging that's been going on lately, just supporting bands constantly. So it's fun to see you guys on there as well.
There's such a great community of bands out there. so that's why we do that.
Kids looking like I can watch. I mean, come on. Aaron's gonna say something.
It's like that. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your drinking holiday, the horses and all that stuff at home.
Cheers.
Thanks so much.
All right.